All right. Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Michael.
I'm Saint, and I'm gonna open some stuff. Michael's gonna be filming. So today we're gonna do things a little differently. We're gonna do a mail day with a focus on some graded product. And firstly, I wanted to mention that we've got a cool deal that just happened. Kaiba, a prominent and notorious collector in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, he wanted to get involved in FaB, so I tried to act as an ambassador to the game, and we did a trade. Here's one of his notorious suitcases, Kaiba's suitcases, where, get this thing open, he traded me 4 boxes of Flesh and Blood, Welcome to Wraith, as well as the contents of this FedEx box for a case of WTR. I actually opened up the contents on FaB Unseals, our private channel, and it didn't go too well. Anyways, wanted to open this and take a look. Thank you, Kaiba, for introducing us to the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Uh-oh. One moment. I guess we're gonna have to caveman this thing. Problem solved. Let's take a quick look. Uh-oh. Cut away. Do not cut yourself in the tummy. Not good. All right. And here we have it. A box within a box within a box. That didn't go well. Hold on. All right, we've got a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We've got Brain Control, Heavy Storm, Cyber Phoenix, these are all PSA 10s, Rare Metal Foes Bismugear, and basically just a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh PSA 10 slabs. Thanks again, Kaiba. All right, moving right along. Obviously behind me, you'll see a different wall as the Channel Fireball products were moved to a separate location. I actually completed a deal with George Wendt down in CompetEsport, and he had something to say to the viewers. Here's a letter from him, and it reads, "Hi Saint, thanks again for the remarkably smooth deal. It was great working with you and hope it's one of many deals to come. For your viewers, I own a small LGS in Charleston, South Carolina, that mainly serves the brave men and women of the military as they train to serve on nuclear subs. Very noble. We were one of the very first stores to try Flesh and Blood and certainly the first to carry the game at scale. I still remember when we started with 1 case and ordered 500 boxes just a few months later. If your viewers wouldn't mind signing up for our newsletter to be told of when both Unlimited restocks and/or when Monarch opens for pre-order, we would appreciate it. Our website is www.fleshandblood.com. By the way, George and I are working on a second follow-up transaction to provide WTR and ARC Unlimited to any viewers looking for it. Okay, last but not least, from George. Also, as you know, we are working on doing cool things to help the Duke ALS Institute. There is currently no known cause or cure for 90% of ALS cases, and Duke is working hard to overcome this. We have raised $2.9 million over the last 3 years and are just $600,000 short to get to our goal. I appreciate any of your viewers wanting to donate to Duke's ALS Institute. If any viewer wants to donate, please go to www.gifts.duke.edu/dukehealth and put ALS in the search lane for the ALS General Fund, or email me directly. Thanks again, George. Well, viewers, I want to thank George and I want to thank your viewership because your viewership has encouraged us to donate a couple of cases of Crucible of War to George's cause for the Duke ALS Institute, and George graciously matched us with 2 cases of his own. So all of the proceeds are going to charity. Thanks, guys. To our next part of the mail day. All right, guys. Now to move on with the mail day, just wanted to thank first BR Games for finally getting me this Glint the Quicksilver playmat. Wow, look at that. That's Dorinthea. You got the whole combat chain. You got everything. And you got her going again and kicking butt. Michael, what do you think about it? Isn't this a crazy playmat?
I love the detail.
Right?
On this sword rapier thing.
Yeah.
So nice.
And these things are so rare. That's what it took me like a month to get it. So thanks again, BR Games. Also, we got more playmats. We got something a little gimme. Thank you to Andrew Glogowski from FaB Unseals on Facebook. I heard James Curry also joined in and chipped in to get this even more rare playmat, the Findall Spring Tunic. I mean, isn't the card already beautiful?
Yep.
In cold foil, this is like even better. You've got the Spring Tunic all over. She's the next most sought after piece after, of course, the Heart of Findall. So this is amazing. Thank you, Andrew G. Thank you, James Curry from FaB Unseals. Really appreciate the support, guys. All right, but for the purposes of this session, we're going to stick with Dorinthea. Good background. My favorite Dorinthea Bay. So, wanted to just review the graded cards from Beckett that we've featured in our introduction, because we've never done that before. First off, this is a Crippling Crush Majestic Rainbow Foil. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? My God, real nice rainbow foil. You got the lights on it, the details. Everything's just better in foil in Flesh and Blood. And it's also a quad. I think it's one of 5 ever graded, and it's the nicest graded copy because the corners are beautiful.
Saint, what's a quad?
A quad is when you've got all four subgrades, the centering, the corners, the edges, and surface, all 9.5. And that means it's a quad because all 4 grades are 9.5. And if one is a 10, then it becomes a quad plus. If 2 are 10s, plus, etc. So a quad is the gold standard of grading at Beckett.
Got it.
Okay, next we have a Steel Blade Supremacy. This is just a 9.5 basic. You see it doesn't have a quad because the corners are 9. So Dorinthea Bay is just a basic bish over here, right? You know what I'm saying? It's really unfortunate because as you can see, look at that. We've got the corners over there that just aren't as nice, and the corners were the ones to get a 9. All right. Next, we've got a cold foil legendary tectonic plating. This one is a 9 quad, meaning all the grades are 9 or better, and 9 quad plus because this is a plus. It's higher than 9. This is a plus. So it's a silver label, slightly less nice than a 9 quad, or than a quad, sorry. And yeah, as you can see, the corners are problematic. There's some other mini issues on the edges. Right here, a little edge issue. And I think over here, you can see there's whitening on the edges over there. So that's what knocked it down. However, we have a slightly nicer one. The tectonic plating in 9.5 basic. Again, grading Flesh and Blood is really tough because these cold foils and the rainbow foils, Michael, if you see that, you see the corners.
Yep.
There's 2 faulty corners there, and that just easily knocks it down from a 10 to a 9. You see there's corner damage over there. There's corner damage over there. So for the viewers, I've got a pretty solid background in graded Magic the Gathering. Those of you that don't know me for Magic, and I've graded probably 5,000 to 6,000 cards with Beckett in Magic the Gathering, and a lot of people actually know me to be pretty proficient at grading cards. We'll get into that later. Moving to the Mask of Momentum, the Ninja Legendary Cold Foil. Here's a 9.5 basic Mask of Momentum. Really nice card, a gold slab, a 9.5. But as you can see, I think Beckett found some issues with the edges over here. You see that whitening, the damage right there. Yep, you see that, Michael? And viewers?
It's like this little speck
It's
almost
just
right
a
there.
little bit, and there's just a little bit over here, but this is what you get with grading. You're trying to get a pristine piece, and just one little imperfection will impact the overall grade. However, this is why you always carry a spare. Here's the 9.5 quad Mask of Momentum. As you can see, nearly everything. There's a little bit, just a feather on the corners, just a feather, but only enough to deduct it by 0.5. And the rest of the card is more or less flawless. This is the #1 graded Mask of Momentum currently in the world. Again, 9 quad plus Brage Forge bracers. So see the corners and the surface. I don't know what was up with the surface. There might have been a little scratch that came in from printing. And yeah, corners. You see this bottom right, corner damage over there. It's a little, you see a little whitening. But more importantly, look, a second corner. This one did it in. That did in the 9.5. So Brage Forge bracers. Again, always carry a spare. Here's the Brage Forge bracers, the #1 rated one currently in the world. 9.5 quad bracers. No corner damage, no edge damage. Virtually perfect. There's a little feather, much smaller. Little blip right there. But then everything else in the corners are fine. The edges are fine. Beautiful card. Last couple of slabs we have, just like the playmat earlier, we've got the Findall Spring Tunic. 9 quad plus. And issues are corners again and the edges. See, these pesky corners. This one has issues on all 4 corners. You see whitening over there. You see whitening over there. A little bit of whitening. You see whitening on the bottom right. All 4 corners. And, sorry, whitening on the bottom left. So all 4 corners had issues. Let's see the edges. I remember there being some small edge issues. If you look over here, there's a little whitening over there on the edges. But that'll do it in. That's all it takes for a nice quad card to go down to a 9 quad. We've got the last one, a 9.5 basic plus Findall Spring Tunic. 10 surface, so nearly perfect surface. Still a beautiful card. Still 9.5. And again, this one corner, it's pretty visible, but that did in the slab. The slab was pretty much near perfect everywhere else. So, as I said, I've got, you know, a pretty solid reputation grading cards in the Magic community. So, a couple of people in the Flesh and Blood community have come to me asking for grading help. One of them being Chris Sayers from FaB Unseals. He submitted his cards. There might be some MTG in here, so pardon me, guys, but we'll go through it. Thanks again, Chris, for trusting me with your cardboard. I'm going to do the best job possible sending the right selection to Beckett Grading Services, making the journey to the great beyond to Dallas, Texas, Beckett HQ. Oh man, Beckett should be paying me for this. Either that or they should be giving me better grades, right, Michael?
Or faster service.
Our faster service. Yeah, that's the only problem with Beckett. Hold on, guys. Pardon me. I see a lot of magic in here. We're going to take away magic. Ooh, here's something nice. So when you're looking at graded cards, the biggest thing you want to do is just organize everything. There's some nice stuff. There's a cracked bauble. You know what? I'll look at that for a little bit. Another cracked bauble. Quicken tokens are rare, but I'll move on. There's some Majestics here. Fine center. You know what? There's just so much to review, so we'll get to the main stuff. We'll get to the... Ooh, Arcanite Shard. Wow, Cheyenne. Wow. Chris Sayers really knows what he's doing. Oh my god, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Okay, so we're going to review the big stuff. Courage of Blade Hold, Perch Grapplers. Let me just take a look. There's... Holy crap, these are... Wow. Cold foils after cold foils. These are majestic cold foils. These are really scarce. Gambler's Gloves, Skullhorn, the Skeleta.
All right. Majestic rainbow foils.
No, majestic cold foils.
Oh, legendary equipment. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, they're not legendary. And,
yeah.
Yep, Crucible of War, they're majestics. And these are just irregular majestics, which I think it's a little early for grading. Okay, these we'll put aside. And are these? Ah, these are the reprints. These are the
unlimited arc, unlimited rainbow foils. You know what? These are just, there's just, oh, we're back to cold foils again. Here's a cold foil arc.
Wait, show the guys the difference between those two, actually. It's a great opportunity.
Okay, that's a great idea, Michael. So this is a cold foil. Look at that. Look at that. You've got the foiling. I'm not going to take it out because this is probably a $1,500 card right now, but you could see it's the silvering of the foil, right? Mm-hmm. This is a rainbow foil. You could see under the light, there's rainbow foiling. You guys see the difference?
And there's no foiling on the borders as well, right?
Yeah. There's no foiling on the borders, just within the middle art.
Notably, that bottom left, if you want to just do a side-by-side.
Oh, of course.
It's pretty easy to see.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see. This is the arc reprint with the circle and the L. This is the arc original with just the number and the L. So one is worth, I don't know, $100. One is worth 1,000 plus. So these are really awesome. You know what? Speaking of, I'm just going to go through the rest of these cold foils. Crucible of Aether Wave. That's pretty cool. I think that's a promo. No Ruined. Breaking Scales. And these are just, oh, Zen State. There's some really cool stuff in here. I'm going to have to do my homework on these, but for the purposes of the viewers and to not be under heat lamps and get Chris's cards wet with my grubby little paws, we're just going to do this. We're going to start with the original Teklo Foundry Heart, and we're going to go through it. Okay, just going to take a quick look. Teklo Foundry Heart. All right, I'm just going to get it, review it. Oh man, I can see. Look at that. That is really, really beautiful surface. Really beautiful card. Really quick. Ooh, there's going to be some edge damage here. If you could see, there's whitening on the edges. You see that? That edge? It might not clear 9.5, but these are really, really clean corners except for this one. Except for this one right there. There's that little whitening on the corner. And you know what? These things are so valuable. They're not even mine in this case, so I am going to sleeve this. Fresh new sleeve. Oh, man. Good luck on your trip to Beckett. Good luck on your ascension into a BGS slab.
So are all cold foil, alpha and arcane firsts worth grading at this point?
I would say, yeah, I would say obviously every FaBled is worth grading.
Right.
Every legendary is worth grading. And then everything else is up to you. Most importantly, if you like graded cards, it's not even about the value. It's about liking it. Like, you know what? I like Dorinthea. I don't care what a Steelblade Supremacy is worth on the open market. I just wanted to preserve a really nice copy of her. It's a gold label. I wish it was quad, because quads are, you know, even more sought after, but hey, I preserved it and there it is. So here's a Teklo Foundry Heart. It's inside an Ultra Pro sleeve, a penny sleeve, just any old Ultra Pro penny sleeve, the softer the better. And then a semi-rigid card holder. So there's a Teklo Foundry Heart, ready to go to Beckett. All right, again, we got to go through this one by one. We've got the Cheyenne Diamond Gemini. Just go through these cards. Cheyenne, Diamond, Gemini. Oh man, I can already see a little bit of corner issue. You see that? The whitening on the corner? You see that from here, Michael?
So subtle.
It is, but it's going to have an impact on the grade.
Kind of bends into the edge as well. That top right edge is just a little white as well. Yes.
Exactly. Well, that will mostly be corner damage, and there's the big impact. You see in the back? There, a lot of whitening right there.
Subtle.
It is subtle, but this card is going to get dinged, and then there's a bottom right corner issue too. Cheyenne is gorgeous. She's beautiful. Beautiful copy. Oops. Get her in there.
You're like shaking while handling these cards.
I mean, these are really, really valuable cards. These are really, look at that. Look at that foiling. That is so beautiful. And she's the Vesuvian doppelganger of Flesh and Blood. And she's so sought after. She's in crew, so there's the L. She's legendary. Some people have opened up 60 boxes and just have still not gotten a Cheyenne. There we go, Cheyenne. You know what? I think you're going to be a 9 quad plus or better. We'll see. I think she's just going to miss 9.5. So, again, like I said, not trying to spend too much time under these heat lamps. Let's, I
Oh,
Look
boy.
at Arknight Shard. This is what we're after. This is the FaBled for crew, but unfortunately, the FaBled hunters have not pulled one.
This is the first actual FaBled card to be featured on this channel, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And it's so unfortunate that it's not ours. Okay, the surfaces are not perfect. Let me get the moisture out. Surfaces are not perfect. There's just something, because there's just a little trace of the card, just, you know, the pattern, the lattice not being perfect. I don't know how else to tell you other than the reflection. Usually if the reflection's just one surface and everything's perfect, you could sort of tell. It's just not saying clean. That it's not as clean. Exactly. Okay. Exactly. And here, okay, that's just some dust. Again, we're looking at the surface. The back is much better. You see, it's a pure reflection on the back. It's just.
But I can see like that. Oh,
I'm just talking about the surface. Yeah. So the bottom left corner here, that corner is problematic. That corner's obviously problematic. There's literally like even a little.
I can see it.
Yeah, V chip in there. So, yeah. Regardless, we don't want this not under a sleeve for much longer. So the tilt, make sure there's no damage. There you go. Again, it's hot under these high intensity lamps. So make sure there's no moisture from the hand, and 2 fingers in, hold it open. And a clean and smooth insertion. You can only really do this with the Ultra Pro sleeves. It's so much harder because the plastic is inferior in the card savers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I recently had to do that. Is there any reason why people use semi-rigids? Besides the fact that all the grading companies require it,
yeah.
Is there any advantage to using it, say, over a top loader?
I would say that a top loader, because it's inside a top loader, it can move in and out. Look at this, semi-rigid. Let me put down this. This is like a $6,000-$7,000 card right now. So look, this doesn't move, whereas in a top loader, it moves. It moves up and down, and you might chip the edges.
Yep.
So semi-rigid, well, first off, penny sleeve plus semi-rigid, that's the safest way to keep your cards.
And it's become industry standard at this point.
Exactly.
Not doing that, so.
Well, there are still people submitting with top loaders, but they're just going to end up damaging their cards and probably pissing off a grader. And that's not good.
Right.
The human beings on the other side handling these cards, and, you know, they're not paid to be nice to you. They're not paid to be your friends. And if you're not doing them any favors, they won't do you any favors. Again, Arknight Shard Part 2, we've got an issue on the bottom left, an issue on the top left. So, you know what? We wish this card the best of luck. We're going to quickly put it in. We've identified issues, but you know what? It is still a beautiful card.
Is the surface on that one a little bit better? Or
the surface on that, I just quickly took a look at it. I'm not going to pull it out again, but yeah, this looks near pristine. You can tell by the surface. There's just an issue with the lattice, basically the material, the sheen. It was just a little bit off on the other Arknight Shard. You know what? Both may get a 9.5. They might magnify it, and one might get a 10. This one might get a 10 surface. Who knows? So there you go. Okay, I'm not going to do a graded review on the rest of the cards, as there's probably over 100 cards, but these are prepped for grading. Last but not least, speaking of other private collectors, again, people have tapped me on the shoulder to help them grade cards through my Beckett account and help them handle their cards and get them, transport them for grading. So these are not my cards. These, featured earlier, those are my cards with probably 200 more in Beckett grading. I'm a little frugal, so a lot of them are going 20-day and 60-day, which is Tier 3 standard, and Tier 4 economy service. These were from prominent private collectors that did not want to be named, and they did, however, allow me to show off their cards on our channel. So you know what? Let's keep things secret here. Let's keep things secret. So the first card that they wanted to be featured was, let's take a look here. Oh, wow. Look at this. I was talking about Quad Plus earlier. Yes, please separate those. But although they've got a serial number that makes them unique, this is our first hit, a Quad Plus tectonic plating. Oh man, this is just so beautiful with the surface just being judged as perfect, basically, hence the 10. This is probably the #1 tectonic plating in the world, as I don't know anybody else who even has a quad. So that's a beautiful slab. Michael, you want to take a quick look?
Oh my goodness. Jeez, yeah. Well, it's so interesting. So like,
Yeah.
does that mean if when we shine high intensity lights, and I'm trying to show it to the guys at home right now, this cold foiling is just this more like subtle nuance, almost like silvery feel.
It's a silvery feel, absolutely.
But the unlimited boxes that have this kind of stuff, it would be almost like you can see, you know, quote unquote, the rainbow.
The rainbow foiling. It's
like
foiling
this.
everywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
this is.
Okay.
You know what? The cold foiling was so, and I could see just a layer of pure silverish foiling from here. You could, viewers can see that under the light. It's just so classy and so detailed that, you know what, Magic the Gathering, I believe, in Commander, they did etched foils, probably to copy Flesh and Blood's cold foil. So this is just
foils do look nice though, Saint. I gotta give them that.
Hey, they do, but they kind of copied LSS.
Yeah, there's also a lot of supply of them.
Yep. There's a lot less supply of these. So this Mask of Momentum, again, look at that. That's a very unfortunate hit. I will take it out of the sleeve really quick, but look, the surface is a 10, 9.5 centering, 9.5 edges, and the corners, bam. You see that one nick just made this slab, knocked it down from a chance at perfection or near perfection. These two nicks brought it down to an 8.5 Mask of Momentum. Okay. Here's another one. Oh, this is a special one. Okay, I'm sure the playing base will like this one. This is one of the rarest cards in the world right now. This is a 9.5 quad plus Enlightened Strike. I think there are only about 500 made, and there's not one in this grade. I'm on the private channels. People are open offering for even less highly graded versions of this card, but this is the nicest one in the world, and I believe there are only 500 made. I wish this was my slab, but it is not. But it's still an honor to handle these cards for grading.
And that card, Foil E-Strike, is basically one of the most playable.
It's probably the best card in the game.
Every single deck, Clash, Classic, whatever. They'll put, you can jam like 2 of them in every single deck you play.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Michael. Here is a Heart of Findall. This is what we're looking for. We still haven't gotten one, but you know, the private collectors out there, lucky them.
At least we know they exist.
Yes, they do exist. This is what it looks like. This is what our goals are to find one of this.
That is a nice grade too.
It is. It's a 9.5 basic Heart of Findall. Again, this chip over there basically brought it down from greatness. There's a little bit over here and a little bit, but that's the main one right there. You see I've got my finger on it.
Yeah.
You see the whitening, and there's just literally damage on the corners, which is plaguing the whole print run. So Heart of Findall, said to be 550 ever produced. But yeah, we've got one on this channel. Wish it was ours. Next, we have a Scab Skin Leathers. Again, 9. Just to point out, yep, one right there. One right there. There's just issues with the 2 corners. Top left, bottom left. Won't dwell on that, but that is the Brute Legendary Cold Foil. A nice one. Another Tectonic Plating. This is unfortunate. 8.5. Again, wow. So many corner issues. You see that one right there? I'll take it out of the sleeve. You see how big that nick is right there? And there's 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 and a little bit over here. Basically, every single corner is imperfect, starting with this one.
Do you have any insight as to why so many of these corners are so dinged up like this? Like, is there something with the print run? Is there something with the printers?
I would just say that the cutters didn't cut it cleanly for the whole print run.
But it's like the commons aren't like this. Like, we only see this really with the foils of these alpha prints.
You know, the foils are layered, so I would probably say that the foils just don't cut cleanly because there's different layering to it. And there's some metallic residue. Here's another one. This is probably one of, if not the highest rated Heart of Findall in the world. And here again, the same issues. Little feather over there on the top right. Little feather right there. You see the little white speck?
This might be the most expensive, like, slab we show all day, though, right? I mean, this is straight up.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Like-
there's nothing more valuable than a Heart of Fyendal in the game right now. Yeah, this is a 9.5. There's 2 10s.
Right.
The only way this could really transcend this current slab is for the corners to be 9.5 and to be a quarter better, or even a 10. But
Right.
you just need the corners to hit 9.5.
I mean, have we seen any that have 9.5 corners?
I'm very actively involved in
Right.
the groups, and I'm actually an administrator of the Facebook graded group.
Right.
And we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it yet. We're
That's
still
the
looking,
biggest
guys. Yeah, it's a huge thing.
If you or someone you know,
If you or someone you know see a quad Heart of Fyendal, reach out. So again, Brage Forge Bracers, even with 2 10s, this is such a shame. You see the
Right.
corners?
Right.
9. There's 1 corner. You know what? This one might make it. That's too nuanced. You know what? I would send this in. With that corner, that little bit, I think it deserves better than a 9. I think this is a 9.5.
it's like close.
It's really close. It's right there. You know what? There's graded card review. I'll discuss with the collector and see what they want to do. But that was really close. This one, Brage Forge Bracers, again, not so close. 8.5. You see that's what an 8.5 corner looks like. You could see it from a mile away. That if it was only that, maybe it would be a 9 or 9.5. But that's an 8.5. So, Brage Forge Bracers. All right, we got a couple more. We got a couple more left. Let's take a look. Oh, we have another Scab Skin Leathers, just 9.5 basic. The Brute, not as much love for the Brute, but yeah, again, you see, just the knife just didn't cut, the blade just didn't cut that well. And there you go, there's 1 corner, there's a 2nd corner, so the 9 corners are pretty much deserved. Again, Fyendal Spring Tunic, great card, you got a 10, you got 9.5s. Oh, that little nick right there brought down the grade to an 8.5 for the corners. Just that little nick. I think this one probably deserves a 9, but you know what? They're the pros out there at Beckett. And last but definitely not least, a Fyendal Spring Tunic, 9.5 basic plus plus. Plus pluses are from the edges and surface. So, yep, here it is. There's that 1 corner. Really light corner. That deserves a 9. And a 2nd corner, just a feather over there. That's what got it to a 9. Otherwise, really, really beautiful legendary equipment. All right, guys. That's it for our mail day. And tune in for us opening something next time. Take care for now, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye!